Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, January 17th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with news regarding both WWE and TNA Wrestling. The two companies have begun an official multi-year partnership according to a statement released yesterday. Part of the partnership will include continued and increased talent crossover opportunities, building and expanding on what has been going on for the past several months since the two companies began publicly working together last year. This includes TNA talent appearing in NXT and WWE Premium Live events, as well as NXT talent appearing on TNA television and pay-per-view. The companies also plan on sharing coaching and talent development. Said Paul Levesque on social media, quote, "Massive news for everyone, WWE, TNA, and most importantly, fans around the world. This valuable partnership will help prepare both companies for the next generation of this industry," end quote. It was not specified how many years have been agreed to for the new partnership. From TNA Wrestling's establishment in 2002 until the creation of All Elite Wrestling in 2019, TNA was WWE's closest competitor in the professional wrestling industry and the second largest promotion in North America. TNA Wrestling presented Impact last night on Access TV, featuring matches taped on December 14th at Center Stage Theater in Atlanta. In the main event, the Hardy Boys defeated PCO and Sami Callihan, preventing PCO and Callihan from being added to the tag team title match at TNA Genesis. Joe Hendry and TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth had a face-to-face confrontation, ending with the champion super-kicking Hendry. Tessa Blanchard was also attacked at the announce table by Jordan Grace during the show. In other results, Eric Young and Steve Macklin beat First Class, Leon Slater pinned Trent Seven, and Jake Something defeated Laredo Kid. In ratings news, the Maximum Carnage episode of AEW Dynamite drew an audience of 679,000 to TBS on Wednesday, according to WrestleNomics. That's up from last week's viewership of 615,000. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .18, also up from last week's demo rating of .17. Ring of Honor streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped last Saturday in Athens, Georgia. In the main event, ROH World Women's TV Champion Red Velvet defeated Angelica Risk in a non-title proving ground match. In an 8-man tag team match, EJ Nduka, Lee Johnson, and Shane Taylor Promotions beat Boulder, Serpentico, and the Dark Order. In other results, Blake Christian beat Parker Lee. The Beast Mortos topped Tony Nese. Top Flight went over QT Marshall and Aaron Solo, and the Infantry defeated Jimmy Wild and Rosario Grillo. And in some unfortunate news, long-tenured Milwaukee Brewers announcer and WWE Hall of Fame celebrity inductee Bob Uecker passed away yesterday at the age of 90, according to an announcement first made by the Brewers organization. Uecker is remembered by wrestling fans for his presence at both WrestleMania 3 and 4, in which he served as a special guest commentator, ring announcer, and backstage interviewer. His backstage interaction with Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 4, in which Andre pretends to choke him, is one of the most replayed clips in WrestleMania history. Uecker is remembered for the 54 seasons he spent as a broadcaster for the Brewers, first on television and later on radio, from 1971 right through last season. Prior to that, he played 6 seasons in the major leagues in the 1960s as a catcher for the Milwaukee Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Philadelphia Phillies, and Atlanta Braves. He won a World Series with the Cardinals in 1964. Known for his self-depreciating humor stemming from his lackluster career as a player, Uecker was ironically dubbed Mr. Baseball by Johnny Carson. He also made memorable acting appearances in the 80s and 90s, including in the TV show Mr. Belvedere and the movie Major League. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2010. Once again, Bob Uecker has passed away at the age of 90 years old. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.